Good morning, students. As a part of our implant supported overdenture, continuation of previous class. In previous class, we have seen what is implant supported overdenture and what are the attachments systems used. Now, when you go into the topic, so usually there are different types of dentures. You can see complete dentures where over completely edentulous ridges the dentures are placed. Okay, well, this is implant retained. In implant retained dentures, few two or few implants will be placed over which the denture over denture will be placed. This over denture will be resting on the implants as well as they rest on the tissues. Okay, so just the implants will retain the denture as well as it will take support of the tissues. Whereas in implant supported dentures, it is after placing implants, bar attachment will be placed and the denture, once it is seated, it will be screwed in its position. Once patient want to remove, the screws will be removed and it will be taken off. So it is implant supported where most of the support is gained by the implant and bar attachment, whereas here most of the support in the implant retained will be gained by the residual tissues. Okay, and one more is fixed where it is fixed permanently with the help of screws. So in our topic we will be more dealing with these two types, implant retained and implant supported dentures. Now before going to the detailed description, let it be any type of treatment protocol. Okay, complete denture or any kind of uh, dental treatments or any kind of medical treatments, first we have to evaluate the patient or we have to do proper clinical examination and come to a proper diagnosis, and we should do the proper treatment planning. Then only it helps in success of our treatment. So first we have to do pre-surgical evaluation and later treatment planning. Okay, in the last class we have seen the inclusion criteria and exclusion criteria. As patient comes for overdenture treatment or denture treatment, they are elderly people. In elder age or in old age, systemic or general health problems might be there. So first we have to evaluate and see whether patient is fit for the surgery or not. Then we have to proceed for our treatment. Okay, first we have to take proper case history. Systemic health and general health has to be evaluated. If any doubt or if you want to proceed, we have to refer the patient to their physician and take the fitness certificate whether patient is fit for the surgery or not. We have to get the opinion from the physician or the patient doctor. Then after a general examination of their systemic health, then you have to do clinical oral assessment. Clinically you have to check the ridges, edentulous ridges. You see, we are talking about edentulous patient. We have to clinically evaluate or assess the ridges, size, shape, form of the ridges, maxillary and mandibular ridges, and their relation. Okay, interoral space, everything should be evaluated. Then the mucosa, condition of the mucosa, attachment, frenal attachments. Okay, everything should be assessed. Next, see, clinically we have to assess. Then we have to get few investigations done. One of the important investigation we do is radiographs. See, radiographs, previously they used to take only orthophantomogram, also known as OPG, commonly known. In orthophantomogram, there might be distortion. So we will place metallic structures to identify any kind of distortion is happening in the radiograph. Okay, so why you want to take this radiograph basically is to know the quality and quantity of bone. Okay, when we are placing implant in the bone, into the bone should be, the bone quality should be good, and also quantity or volume of the bone should be good enough, so that the implant we place will be properly also integrated. Good. Okay. Okay, the quality and quantity of bone will be evaluated pre-surgically by using radiograph. Okay, OPG. Later, cephalogram is also used. When we use cephalogram, facial-lingual extension of the ridge can be evaluated. But recently, CBCT or cone beam computed tomography, CBCT, cone beam computed tomography, is being used for implant patients to know the quality and quantity of bone. In CT scans, you might be checking, or you might have come across CT scan. In CT scan, if any part, let it be spine or head, any part, if they want to see, they will do the sectioning in the images. The radiographic images will be sectioned into millimeters and see each part, how the bone, or to evaluate the how the bone or any pathology or any kind of change from the normal anatomy is there, they will be identified. Same way, before you go with the implant placement, CBCT has to be taken to identify the bone quality and quantity in the determined area where you want to go to place implants. For example, you want to place an implant in the canine region or in the premolar region. So we have to know the quality of the bone only in that region. How? How means, see, these are like dentures. See, we have denture base, clear acrylic denture base, and teeth, maxilla and mandibular. These are known as radiographic stents. Okay, like a complete denture, these radiographic stents are placed in the patient oral cavity. Okay, so wherever we determine to place implant, let it be in premolar or in lateral incisor region, we want to place implant. Okay, so there will place a radio opaque marker such as gutta percha point or any ball insert will be done. Then CBCT will be taken. When you take CBCT in the radio opaque area or the region where you want to place implant, that will be section. That will be section, and they will give clear image. See how much occlusio from crest of the ridge to the inferior border of the mandible, what is the length of the ridge, and what is the width of the ridge, everything in each section from crest to the inferior area, they will be sectioning and they will be giving each length and width of the ridge can be identified. And also they will show us in CBCT, they will program such that they will place implant and see and show us whether they are encroaching any anatomical landmark such as inferior alveolar nerve. Okay, so when you are placing implants, the anatomical landmarks such as nerves or arteries or anything should not be damaged. So by doing CBCT using radiographic stents in the predetermined area of where we are going to place implants, we can know the quantity of the bone, and also whether we can place the implant or not. They will show a imaginary picture. Okay, by this we can know whether we can do the implant placement or not. If so, what is the size and length of the implant also they will define clearly in the report. Okay, this is the use of CBCT. Next, the patient pre-existing dentures. See, these edentulous patients are using dentures already. So when the old dentures are ill-fitting or patient is not happy with the existing dentures, then you are going with implant supported over denture. So the existing dentures, existing complete dentures of the patient should be evaluated. What all evaluation you do? First, you have to place the dentures in patient mouth and check the aesthetics, whether teeth arrangement or shade size of the teeth are good enough. Patient is happy with the dentures or not. First you have to find out. Then we have to check the dentures are in proper vertical dimensions or not. If there is any severe attrition or there is any loss of vertical dimension, or if centric relation upper and lower denture is not relating properly, we have to go with new dentures. Okay, if aesthetics, vertical dimension, centric relation, everything is fine, and patient is also happy with the old dentures, we can use the existing denture and modify them and convert them into implant supported over dentures. Got it? If everything is good, the old dentures can be converted into implant supported over dentures. If not, we have to go with new dentures and we have to follow all the steps like primary impression, secondary impression, jarlation, trial, then insertion. New dentures has to be made. Okay, then we have to then number of implants. So see, we have done clinical assessment, radiographic assessment. See, everything is fine and patient is fit for the surgery, implant surgery, and patient is also willing for the treatment. Then old dentures are good enough. Next, we have to decide how many number of implants. The number of implants depends on the shape and size of the residual ridge. Okay, we know once the teeth are lost, residual ridge resorption happens. So when patient or the time when you see the patient, the ridge shape is important. Depending on the shape of the residual ridge, we have to decide number of implants. And also when we are planning the number of implants, we have to consider the stress distribution. The occlusal load has to be distributed onto the implants as well as onto the ridges. Okay, so accordingly we have to identify the location of implants. Next, not only the implants. See, after implants also integrated, we will place attachments. So in previous class we are talking about when we are planning not only the surgical, prosthodontic consideration also has to take in care before planning. Okay, surgical and prosthodontic considerations has to be done. Means implant placement as well as attachments has to be taken into consideration. Then aesthetics. So when you are placing implants, it has to improve the aesthetics or it has to retain the aesthetics of the patient. It should not damage or it should not cause any unaesthetic look. And also it is the implant location should be easy for the patient for the hygiene maintenance. Okay, so the number of implants when you are deciding, you have to decide all these things. So first, depending on the ridge size, we have to decide number of implants. The location depends on the stress distribution and depend on the aesthetic and for the hygiene maintenance. See here, implants are placed. Attachment, these are ball attachments. Okay, whereas here mandible The over the implants, bar attachments are placed. These are magnets. Okay, see, implants are placed and this attachment is known as ball. This in the form of ball attachment. This is bar attachment. These are magnets. Okay, okay. So now we have seen we have ball attachment, bar attachment, magnetic attachments. Now we have decided the number of implants. So most probably for mandible, 2 implants are placed. So when you place minimum 2 implants, it will provide the advantage of implant. What is the advantage of implant? Retaining the ridge anatomy and also the overdenture. Advantage of overdenture, retention, stability, and proprioception. Everything will be maintained. So both the advantage can be gained, and also by placing 2 number of implants in mandible, the cost of the treatment also will be under control. If you place more number of implants, cost will be increased. So 2 implants in mandible are preferred. When 2 implants are placed, ball type of attachments are most commonly given. When you give ball type of attachment, it is easy for the patient to position and to remove. Okay, so ball attachments, it is easy for the patient to place and remove the overdenture. Okay, and in case of ball attachment, the old existing denture can be converted or modified into overdenture. Okay, whereas if you prefer for bar type of attachment, attachment, it can be given. Bar type of attachments can be given when you place 2 implants or 3 to 4 implants. Okay, see here, 3 implants are placed and they are connected with or splinted with bar. When you place a bar attachment, the old denture cannot be modified. We have to go with a new dentures. Got it? For ball attachment, old dentures can be modified. For bar retained dentures, the new dentures has to be fabricated. Got it? See, mandibular overdenture. For mandibular overdenture, 2 ball attachments. These are unsplinted. See, they are not connected. Splinting means if they are connected with the help of a bar, it is known as splinting. Okay, 2 implants are placed for mandibular overdenture. It can be unsplinted like ball attachment, or they can be splinted with bar. 2 implants whether unsplinted or splinted with bar. In case of severe ridge resorption in mandible, 3 or 4 implants are preferred. See, nowadays, in severely resorbed cases where bone is highly resorbed, okay, single midline implants are placed to gain the advantage of implant supported overdenture. Okay, so single implants are placed in midline to gain the some kind of support. Whereas in maxilla, always, see, in previous class we have discussed, mandibular overdenture is given. Mandibular implant supported overdenture is given, opposing maxillary complete denture. Okay, so this is given opposing maxillary complete denture. Maxillary implant supported overdenture is given when there is opposing natural teeth or when there is opposing FPD. Okay, so maxillary implant supported overdenture is given when there is opposing natural teeth are there in mandible or mandibular FPDs are there. Such cases, 4 to 6 implants, maxillary implant supported overdenture, 4 to 6 implants are placed and they are connected with bar attachment. Remember, for maxilla, we have to prefer bar attachments. Okay, so we try to reduce the number of implants for maxillary overdenture. It is not recommended. It will affect the overall treatment. Okay, see, for maxilla, 4 to 6 implants are placed and they are connected with bar. Okay, so we should not reduce the number of implants. And Maxillary implant overdenture. One more important feature is implant placement. The area or the position of maxillary implants are very important. If we are not positioning properly, it will affect the overall aesthetics. It will affect the bulkiness of the denture. If denture is bulky, it will affect the aesthetics, or the lip support will not be proper. Okay. See, this is single implant overdenture where it is placed exactly in midline of the mandibular arch. Okay, and it is modified. The old denture is modified and it is positioned. See, the ridges are highly resolved. Now, coming to how the surgery is proceeded. First, as we discussed previously, the old dentures are evaluated. From the old denture, they are duplicated and we make a template or guide. This guide helps us in positioning of the implant. See here. So, old dentures are duplicated and surgical template or surgical stents are prepared. So, see, first we have identified the implant by CBCT and by checking it. Implants are placed in predetermined position depending on prosthodontic design, depending on attachments, okay, level and everything. We identify the where to place the implants. Then surgical template or guide is made by duplicating previous dentures. Next, on the day of surgery, okay, patient will be pre-medicated. Then local anesthesia is given. By using surgical template, we know where to place the implant. For example, in mandible, intraforaminal. Intraforaminal means between mental foramen on right to mental foramen of the left. In between, we can place either 2 to 4 implants. Okay, so from one implant to another implant, at least 10 to 12 millimeter gap should be there. Okay, spacing of 10 to 12 millimeter gap should be given between one implant to other implant, and the length depends on the bone content, bone volume. It can be 10, 12 or 13 millimeter implant height can be, length can be. Okay, once after implant placement is done, okay, so we have to leave the implants for get osseointegration. So during that time, the old dentures are provisionally refitted with soft liner. Okay, see, old dentures are evaluated. Then we have to find out the position of the implant, and surgical template is obtained by duplicating old dentures. Then we have to position the implant. After placing implant, during the healing period, the old dentures are adjusted and refitted with soft liners. Okay. During this healing period, we have to ask the patient to maintain hygiene properly. If not, the implant may fail. Okay. Usually, the healing period allowed is for mandible 3 to 4 months period is allowed. For maxilla, as it is of D3 or D4, means most of the maxillary bone is made up of cancellous, less of cortical, more of cancellous. So we have to leave for 6 months for the implant to get osseointegration. Okay. Next, attachment. What are the attachments? We know we have seen ball type of attachment, bar type of attachment, or magnets. Usually, attached system consists of two parts. They are matrix and patrix. Usually, one part among these two, one part is connected to implant. For example, see here. See here. This is patrix or male part. It is a part. It is connected to the implant. Okay. Patrix is connected to implant ball. Whereas other part, matrix, it will be in the form of ring or sleeve type. Ring or sleeve type. It will be incorporated into the denture. Okay. Usually implant over denture attachment consists of matrix, patrix. one component will be connected to implant, other component will be inserted or positioned on the in the within the under surface of overdenture. See here. You see clearly these implants are positioned in the bone. Onto the implant, the ball type of Patrick's component of ball abutment is positioned, whereas other plastic cap or metal housings, these are known as Patrick's. Female components are positioned in the underneath or within the surface of intagular surface of dentures. Okay. See here, these are the components of bar attachment. So implants are positioned in the bone. Onto the implant, these Patrick's or male components with the abutments and bars is connected to the implants, whereas the metal sleeves, these metal sleeves and rubbers are positioned within the under surface of denture. Okay, sleeves are positioned on the under surface of denture. These are Patrick's or male components are attached to the implants. Now, how you select this attachment system? So attachment system depends on number of implants and their distribution. So more the number of implants, okay. Usually for mandible we are seeing 2 implants are preferred. Usually when place 2 implants, we can go with ball type of attachments. Okay. If these 2 implants are not parallel to each other, we prefer ball attachment. If they are parallel to each other, we can split them using bar. Okay, depending on number of implants and their distribution, the attachment system is preferred. And the type of bar, there are different types of bar. It can be multiple bar, it can be single bar, depending on number of implants or ball attachments, abutments. The length of bar segment, more the number of implants, the bars will be segmented, or they can be shorter bars which are connected to each other. Okay, number of matrices, this depends on amount of retention required and the degree of residual resorption. Depending on more the resorption, we go with bar retainers. Okay, see here. If this is the occlusal plane where maxillary teeth and mandibular teeth are contacting, so we have, this is the crest of the mandibular ridge. So this much space is available. Okay, this much space is available for the attachment system to place, and also over it the denture along with the teeth has to be placed. So there should be sufficient space from the occlusal plane to the ridge, then only we can place our attachment system onto which the overdenture with the teeth can be placed. So the space has to be, enough space has to be present. Now, see, ball attachments are easy way. Okay, ball attachments are easy way because ball abutment is positioned on the implant, and the O-rings or the sleeves will be positioned within the denture. So it is very easy for the patient to position and remove. So when patient dexterity or patient motor skills are limited, we prefer ball attachment. In ball attachment, the old existing denture can be modified into implant supported overdentures. Whereas when you go with bar attachments, see, maxilla 4 implants are positioned and they are splinted with bar and the overdenture is given. So bar attachments are preferred for maxillary overdenture and in case of atrophic mandibular ridges. Okay, for mandible we go with ball attachments. In maxilla we go with bar retained overdenture, and also in high resolved mandible bar attachments are given. Okay, see here, maxillary denture, when they are bar retained, they are modified like a horseshoe. If you can remember, maxillary complete denture, we have to cover the palate also, but here the implants are positioned and they are splintered with bar. Okay, here the maxillary denture has modified into horseshoe shape. Okay, and gain support from the bar. Okay, because of splintered multiple implants with bar, horseshoe design is possible. By giving so, patient will be happy to gain proper aesthetics, and they will have proper phonetics. Okay. Now, next, teeth are selected. Anti-teeth are placed to enhance aesthetics, whereas posterior teeth already we know they are to position in neutral zone area to improve retention and stability. Now coming to fabrication procedures. As we know, in complete denture, when we are going with the new or we are modifying a old dentures, okay, preferably if you are going with the new implant supported over denture, first we make primary impression with alginate. Cast is fabricated. Over the cast, we make a custom tray, a special tray, and with the special tray, definitive impressions are made. So these impressions, definite impression depending on which type of attachment. Ball attachment means closed type of tray is used. For bar attachment, open tray is used. Once definite impressions are made, master cast is obtained, then the jaw relations are recorded, then they are articulated, teeth selection is done depending on aesthetics and retention, and teeth arrangement is done and verified. So during these procedures, the attachments are also positioned on the cast. Okay, then they are verified. Then they are verified for the aesthetics, whether the fitting is good or not. Everything will be tried. Then the dentures are processed along with the attachments. Okay, you remember the dentures are processed with the help of female or male components which are within the denture part. They are processed along with it. Then the dentures are delivered to the patient, or during the insertion day, patient will be given clear instructions how to position and how to remove. Okay. Then post insertion instruction. See here, the patient has to maintain hygiene to protect or to maintain the health of the tissue surrounding implant, and also denture hygiene has to be followed. Then patient has to be given clear instructions about implant management or implant hygiene. See here, the ball type of attachment for the dentures has to be cleaned with the denture brushes. Under surface of dentures has to be cleaned with soft brush, unit of brushes. Then the implant, the tissue surrounding the implant has to be maintained with soft brush. And surrounding the implant, flossing has to be done to keep plaque free. Okay. The type of attachment influences the prosthodontic maintenance. So, if it is a ball type of attachment, it is easy for the patient to maintain. Whereas in case of bar attachment, the mucosal tissue beneath the bar will be inflamed, and also it is very difficult for the patient to maintain hygiene beneath the bar. Okay. Ball type of attachment is easy for maintenance. Bar attachment it is difficult. It also leads to inflammation of the mucosa. Okay. Soft brushes are advised, and also vigorous massage of the gingiva is recommended. The main objective of this in maintenance care is there should be plaque and deposit free. The implant component should be plaque free or deposit free. Okay. So, and we have to instruct the patient to come periodically. So when patient come periodically, any adjustment for the over denture, any minor adjustments required has to be done, and also the peri-implant tissue, the tissue surrounding the implant has to be evaluated. If required, radiographs will be made, and the osseointegration, the position of the osseointegration or the level of osseointegration can be evaluated. Okay. So during usage 1 or 2 years, the matrix components of the attachment within the denture, if they want get replaced, or rings, rubber soft rings has to be replaced, they have to be replaced and refitted. The old dentures or the dentures has to be refitted and corrections has to be done. Okay, so this is the brief description of a implant supported overdenture. Thank you, students.